Hi guys, Kirk and Jason here with Kirk, Giordano Plastering. Today I want to show you guys is pillars. These pillars here, they're solid styrofoam. And what happened is they had some issues here with some leakage. And painter came by and he kind of broke out and did his thing, but his didn't last. And here's the thing guys, interior plaster is made for interiors because if it gets wet, which we're outside here obviously, it'll bring it right back to powder. So we're going to scrape all this out here. It's just going to come right off because interior plaster really doesn't adhere well outside, especially when it gets wet. So I'll show you what we've done here. Now this light here, I thought water came in here and it kind of tweaked it. I'll show you over on this pillar here. Now this pillar looked like that pillar. So what we did is we removed all the loose stuff. We took the light off, and of course I had her turn the light on to make sure that it still worked rather than set it in stone basically or stucco before I put it back on. We put this back on, we leveled the light every which way, made certain that the door opened so they can get in here, and we put a new coat of exterior stucco on this. Now, when I get to this one over here, I'll show you, well, I've explained what they did wrong. I'll show you how we prep it in order to put the next coat. And like I did this one, their original finish, let me pull this off here one more time. The original finish, they kind of had a little bit of water table, but not much. We're going to take it here and we're going to do what this fella did, except we're going to use the proper materials to bring that out. Get rid of this moss, we're going to wire brush it, we're going to put bonding agents, we're going to clean it up. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and clean this up right now. When we get to that stage, we'll show you. One last thing, the owner said, gee, do we need to replace the pillars? I said, absolutely not. I wouldn't do it if it were my own house. What I generally do is I'll tell folks, here's what I would do if it's my own house. Quick fix, we can fix this, but these, she says, well, I went online and I seen I can buy these for $1,000. And I thought, no, you can't. This was framed and then it was shear walled, then the styrofoam was added to this. This is not one of those little plant-ons like in the mail you could order mailboxes and you just kind of stick them in styrofoam. I said, that's way too much work to redo this. Anyway, that's what old Kirk says. I would do it that way if it were my house. Anybody says, hey, tear it all off and rebuild it, I said, that's crazy. Anyhow, when we get to that stage, we'll show you what we're getting at. Okay, guys, we pulled off all that loose stuff. And what I'm doing now is, this is a painted surface. You always have to put a bonding agent over a painted surface because my cementitious finish won't adhere. Do I have to put a bonding agent over this right here? This is the original color coat. It's Miami Vice. It's a La Habra color. No, I don't, but since I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and put some anyway because I want to lock it in tight and remove all the dust. I just now took a water hose and sprayed it all off because, again, my finish is only as good as what it's applied to. I can't apply it over any dust. All right, now this is wet. That's pretty wet right there. What I'm going to do is I had Jay mix me up some color coat. And this color coat has got accelerators in it. Now this is set. That's just what I want. I want it hard just like this because I don't want to play around with it. This is almost at the stage where I can't use it, but not there quite yet. All right. Now what I'm going to do is, might as well use everything we got. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and give it a pyramid type of finish. What I do is take it here, I'll take this side, pyramided. And now granted, if I didn't put this much accelerators in it, luminite, it would hairline crack or crack like an egg, plus I'd have to be here a lot longer than I want to be. Aluminite does not affect the performance of the stucco. It won't degrade it or make it weak or anything. It just speeds up the set time. So, okay. We are putting that there. And I'm making my own little pyramid again, just like I did that side. What we do is we take our trowel. If you know what you're doing, got some time in, you can make these no problem. So I'll take this, come here. And what I want to do is, I don't want the rain to set on the top of it. I want the rain to hit here and flow off. So, okay, we got that here. There. Now we come right back around, and then we're going to texture it after I float this. I'm going to show you how we float it too. A lot of folks say, hey Kirk, why don't you use a brown hard rubber float? Well, hard rubber float has its purpose, and that purpose is to compress the stucco. For what I want to do with this material here is I want to bring the aggregate out. Now notice this pillar here. We are doing other work on this job. Thought I'd show you folks how to do these too, because I get a lot of calls for this stuff. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to take a bucket of water, go back over here, and this is a green sponge float. This green sponge float goes in water, and it brings the sand or aggregate out. Now, if I use a hard rubber float, I'm going to compress it, and it won't have the same base coat as this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push some of this mud up. I'm going to push it up here just to seal this light in here. Okay, now I'm going to come around here and float it, meaning just bring the aggregate out. So now, had I not put accelerators in this, I would be here for, well, actually I couldn't do it without accelerators, because this particular color coat would take at least, I would say it would take at least 12 hours to set, and when it did set, it would be cracked like an egg. It would be like putting on taping mud interior and allowing that to set. You don't want to, when you put taping mud on, say for example, it will hairline crack if you go too thick, but that's the nature of that stuff. It is made to go multiple coats. We're plasterers, we're not tapers. We don't want to be here multiple days and do multiple coats unless we're going to do it all same day. All right, now that's the texture, or that's the base coat. Now I'm going to show you the texture. All right, I'm going to go a different bucket, and you might say, what the heck are all these cones? Where you see those plants? Me neither. Jay put these here so I wouldn't step on them. All right, guys, finish coat. Now the finish coat doesn't have no luminite, so luminite is brown. It turns it this tan color. Let me grab my trowel, and I'll show you guys how we do a texture now. This has got to set another 5 minutes, but this one's ready. Get this level out the way. Okay. Now all I'm going to do is texture this. Let's see. All right. So, all right, we're going to take this and match the texture that's down here. It doesn't matter if the color of the weldcrete stains here or there, because they're going to paint these. They're going to paint them all. All right, we take that. Follow the pattern of what these guys have here. Pretty simple texture to match. On the side here. A little bit here, a little bit there. You just look at it. If you see it needs it here or there, put it. All right. Last piece is right here. That other pillar I just did won't be ready to texture for about, I'd give it 5-10 more minutes. Then I'll be able to texture it. And the idea is, in order for me to match this finish here, this has got to be set. If this didn't set, then my finish won't match. A lot of little details as far as matching finishes. And I am using a 1620 material. That's a La Habra. And what that does is it gives me the same texture as what these fellows used. You use the wrong material, you got the wrong finish. So anyway, folks, there you have it. That is how we correct. And I see these, I've done about 50 of these guys where if they're wood and it just explodes because water goes through and gets below it. The idea is what I told these folks, get some good quality paint and paint it right here. Something that's like Kelly Moore elastomeric type paint. where it's waterproof, the primer as well as the paint, and you'll stop this from happening. Anyway guys, my name is Kirk. I am with Kirk Giordano Plastering. We thank you for watching, and as usual, we'll see you guys on the next one.